Hey you guys, it's Miss Mallory and Mr. James here. So I know that we're all kind of going through a weird time where we're stuck at home and we're being practicing social distancing and self-quarantining and things like that. And this time of the year is kind of unfortunate because it is Easter and we love to celebrate Easter together as a church family. And I know that our kids really look forward to our annual Easter egg hunt. So I had this idea last week that I thought it would be fun if we could go on an Easter egg hunt together. But obviously we can't do that together. So I thought that it would be cool if I recorded a video of me going on an Easter egg scavenger hunt with your help at home. So what I've done is I found some scavenger hunt clues. I haven't looked at them. And James is hidden them around the church. And inside each Easter egg is a clue on the next location of the next egg. So we're going to start with this one. This one has a clue inside it. I haven't read it yet. Mr. James is going to go hide it. And then we're going to start with some fun.
All right, guys, we're going to go hide this from Miss Mallory. So we're going to start over here in the cafeteria. I think what we're going to do is we're going to hide it on these little napkin holders. I don't think she'll be able to see it very well in here. So just going to take it and hide it. All right, Mallory, come and find the egg.
Oh, you hit it. Oh no, this might be a lot harder than I thought. I don't even see it. Did you hide it under the bowls? No, it's not in there. Ah, you put it in the napkin holder. All right, let's see. Our first clue. I'm excited. Matthew 27:42 says, "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the blank and we will believe in him." Let him come down from... Well, he was already here in Matthew. He was already on the earth. Let him come down from the... Maybe it's the cross. Let's go check the baptistry at the church. Stop recording. Let's go! Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's see if it's at the cross. I see a purple Easter egg. All right, let's see what our next clue is. Mark 14:36 says, "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this blank for me, yet not what I will, but what you will." Take this blank for me. So I think this is when he was in the garden praying. The cup. Take this cup from me. Yeah. So I wonder if it's at a cup at the MRC building. Let's go. Come on. Now, what kind of pastor doesn't have a coffee cup? We know that the next egg is going to be in Brother Tony's coffee cup. Let's go check it out. Is it in the... Aha. I found our next clue. Luke 22:35 says, "Then Jesus asked them, 'When I sent you without purse, blank, or sandals, did you lack anything?' 'Nothing,' they answered." When I sent you without purse, blank, or sandals. Clothes? Cloth? I don't think that would make sense. Maybe it's talking about a bag, because purses back then were wallets, what they kept their money in, and a bag would be what they stored stuff in. Let's go check a bag. This one. I bet it's in the bags we use for VBS for our group leaders. Let's check it out. Ah, I see a pink egg. Oh, we got our next clue. Okay, this one says, For it's from Matthew 27:3. It says, when Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 pieces of blank to the chief priests and the elders. So Judas was given 30 pieces of something in exchange for the location where Jesus was. And it was silver. I wonder if it's in those silver trays that we use for the Lord's Supper. Let's go check it out. Let's go! Come on, come on, come on! I knew it. We got a green egg right here, folks. Let's see what our next clue is. John 19:29 says, a jar of wine vinegar was there, so they soaked a blank in it and put the blank on a stalk of the hyssop plant and lifted it up to Jesus' lips. So what's happening here is Jesus is already on the cross and he asked for a drink. So what they did is they put a sponge on this little spear and they put it up to him and he drank from it. So our next clue is on a sponge. I bet it's at the MRC building in the sink. Let's go, come on, come on, come on. So our last clue told us that it was probably on a sponge. Lucky for us, we have this massive sink, and lo and behold, here lies our next clue. So Mark 14:18 says, while they were reclining at the blank, eating, he said, truly I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me. So they were reclining and they're eating, so that probably means that they were at a table. Unfortunately, we have a lot of tables in our church, but this is when they were eating the Lord's Supper. Okay, so that means, where do we use our Lord's Supper table? It's over in the church in front of the pulpit. So we'll go take a look there and see if we can find it. Let's go! Come on, come on, come on! What? I was right, yay! All right, let's see. Where's our next clue? Matthew 27:59 says, Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen, blank. So linen makes me think that he was wrapped in cloth. But we already know that because we know that part from the story. So when he was put in the tomb, he was wrapped up in cloth and placed in it. So our next clue is going to be on cloth. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. So we have a lot of different materials in our church that are cloth, but nothing like our burlap cloth that covers our table in the youth room. And look what I found. I found our egg. Our next clue says, it's from Matthew 26:23, and it says, Jesus replied, the one who has dipped his hand into the blank with me will betray me. Dipped his hand. So this is talking about when they were washing their feet before the supper. And he was talking about Judas. But that's not what this is asking. It's asking what they dipped their hand in. So back then they didn't have plumbing and sinks so they could wash their hands, right? So they put water into bowls and wash their hands. So the next clue is going to be inside a bowl. So we have a lot of bowls to choose from in here. Not in a crock pot bowl. Our next clue. All right, let's read what it says. John 21 says, early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the blank had been removed from the entrance. So back when people were buried, they were buried in like caves, and they had this big thing rolled in front of it, so no one could go in. Jesus's had a stone. What was stone? I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it was stone. So then where we're going next is the stone. So the only place in the church that we really have like a lot of stone is the wall in between the church and the MRC building, and the sign out on the very front part of our church building. So we will have to go to the sign first because I think that's where it would be. Let's go. What does our last clue say? This is stone. Well, this is stone. And here's our next clue. Our next clue says, and it comes from John 19:34. Instead, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing a sudden flow of blood and blank. So this is from the part of the story where Jesus is on the cross, and the soldiers think he's passed away at this point. So they're piercing his side to see if he winces or makes movement from it to see if he's still alive. So when they pierce his side, a mixture of blood and water came out from his side because he had bled that much from his whipping. So I bet our next clue is where we can drink water. Let's go check it out. Let's go, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so our last clue told us that water came out of the side of Jesus when the soldiers pierced him. Okay, so there's lots of places in our church buildings to get water, but none other than the water fountain itself. So if you look, we have an egg here. Now, I feel like this one's probably our last one because we've done a lot of clues so far. And if it's empty, that's how we're gonna know. It's empty, there's no more clues. So that tells us this resembles or symbolizes the tomb is empty. God has risen. Jesus is risen back to life. Okay, just like the angel told Mary when they came to the tomb. Happy Easter, y'all. Okay, so I had a lot of fun doing this Easter egg hunt with you guys. I know it's not exactly what we have in mind when we want to go Easter egg hunting. I hope that you guys are enjoying this extra time that you're getting to spend with your families. Know that James and I and all of our staff here and all of our volunteers who help out and all our children's leaders are praying for you guys. I know that these times are scary. None of us have ever gone through anything like this before. But you have to remember, just like we talk about on Sundays and Wednesday nights, God is in control. God knows what's happening, and he has his hand in all of it. So when we feel scared or unsure of things, we have to remember to pray to God to give us peace and to not be scared anymore, okay? I pray that you guys can do that over this time, and hopefully we get to see you soon and have some fun together. Bye, guys.